Take 2 of the pool upgrade update. Starting with the pump. As I said in the first video, just to reiterate it, pump's probably twice as much as I need. Pump's doing great. Never had a drop of problem as far as with the sand filter. The pump itself, come down here, give you a little talk about it for a second. I went down to the swimming pool shop, told the guy what kind of pump I had and everything, and he said, oh yeah, it'll be just fine, leave it out all winter. Just put the valve over here into Winter Haven and it'll be okay. So I left it out all winter. When I went to start it in the spring, it was seized up. It had gotten a little bit wet or something in there, and the bearings or the rust caused it to seize up. So to get some advice, I went down to the swimming pool shop, told them, and they said, oh, get me the part number off that and I'll get you a brand new pump. I think those guys are strictly paid commission. I don't think they're in the business to repair or fix. They're only in the business to sell. So I took the pump apart. Once you get everything apart, there's a place on the shaft to put a wrench. I put it, spun it, soaked it with a little bit of PB Blaster and came clean, came loose, started right up, never had a drop of trouble with it. So the pump's doing great, everything's doing fine. The pump does its job, cleans everything. I want to talk about this green hose, which is the backwash hose. That hose right there, it every time I go down to Home Depot or Lowe's, either Lowe's or Home Depot, I buy theirs down there because it's kind of cheap. It's like $30 for 100 feet, and I cut it in half, and then I can use half of it. Anyway, every time I get a little kink in it, say that kink right there, it'd explode. And you turn it on, and it'd sit there and wish-wash, jump back and forth while it's backwashing, and it'd work its own kink in it, and then all of a sudden it'd just blow up. Well, this one, it doesn't. This is nylon. It said 500 psi. Everything went great on it. The only issue that I had was this hose is exactly 1 1/2 inches in diameter, and this piece right here is 1 1/2 inches, and there's a little lip here to hold it on there, and it's makes it even bigger than 1 1/2. There's nylon cords in it, so I heated it up and I couldn't get it to do it. When I put it around the smaller end right here, which is a 1 1/4, it clamped down and put a wrinkle in it, put a cut in it, so it didn't work that way. So anyway, I kind of got lucky, and I got it to come over the top here just enough. The clamp's holding it, and until it comes off, it's going to stay right there. And all it does is backwash about once a week. I'll use it for 15 minutes and I'm done. Moving on over here, this valve right here, this is a Home Depot valve. This valve is almost impossible to turn. I can't turn it. I found that that's the way all Home Depot valves are, not just that one. You buy another valve at Home Depot and it's impossible to turn, especially if you got it in a place where it's not secure, where like this, everything's moving around. So it's hard to turn, and to take that apart and rebuild it and redo that, that's probably $30 or $40. So I'm gonna have to live with it right now and get down with both hands and grunt while I turn it. Over here, I think one of these is a Home Depot, maybe one of them's Lowe's, I don't know. I know that one's Lowe's, I think that one is Home Depot, but let me see. No, this is Lowe's. This is Lowe's, it's easy to turn. The Lowe's ones are really super easy to turn. I stopped buying them at Home Depot. I'll never go there again to buy one of those. I will get them at Lowe's. I haven't checked other places that sell them, but right now the only ones I get them is Lowe's and Home Depot. So it turns out good. Coming up here, everything's fine. I did have a comment on the last little comment that I had. One of the comments that I had on there, the guy says I put this in the wrong place. Let me get this off. The water runs in there. It does good. I got the water right where it's supposed to, right where you think it should be. It does a good job. The only thing I would do different is I wouldn't be so cheap and get me a wide mouth. One of these wide mouth ones that would have come out to right here. I'd have got one of them. But this does a fantastic job. If I just shut one valve and turn the other one on, you can hear the pump lagging. It's not, it has the ability to pull more than what this one valve allows it to pull. So with it both open, the pump doesn't act like it's struggling at all. And coming along, one of the things I want to talk about is the pool. Now the pool is just a body of water. It's just as nice as you can get. There's nicer pools out there. It's much better than putting a tarp in the back of a pickup and filling it full of water. But it is a body of water, and there's a lot of problems with the pool. And one of the problems that I have, now I had 22 people and 2 dogs swimming in this all at one time once. And the pool stayed crystal clear, stayed clean. I did have lots and lots of hair getting plugged up in both of these filters, this one right here and that one over there. I got hair got like in a drain, and it was nasty and gross trying to clean it out. The hair did not come from the dogs either. The hair came from most of the women who were in here. I've had adult women, and I've had a 15-year-old girl birthday party, and I had to clean hair out of both in both cases. One of the problems I see with this pool right here is this little divot that's in here. The water splashes out of here. People get in here splashing around. You get 20 people in here splashing around. The water just comes right up out of here. I would think that they could probably come up with a cover that would come up here and come over top, maybe snap down or just tie down or just hang down with a magnet or something, so it would cover this hole up. These holes have to be here in order for you to put this whole thing together. But they ought to be able to come up with something that would at least keep the water from splashing out. Maybe not keep it so you could fill it over that, but at least keep the water from splashing out. Because I have had so much water floating around in the bay bottom here. Is a pond out here. And another thing is these, see, this one here's perfect. But this one, if you can see it, it's right here. There's a divot right here on that, and these are really weak, real wimpy. About every fourth one of these has a little divot in it, and it's from adults. They just put their hand right here and they lift themselves up, sometimes trying to get in, sometimes just hanging out on the pool and just lift themselves up a little bit. They'll put some weight on it. Now I have had kids walk off the side of the deck, walk around barefoot, and jump in, and they've not done any damage to it at all. Kids that probably weigh less than 100 pounds. Older kids, I usually tell them not to. Another problem I see with it, I have in this area, is aside from leaves and dirt and crud getting in here, I have frogs get up in here. Frogs will get up inside these things, and they'll stay all night, and I have to come along with the garden hose, and I'll hit it with the garden hose and wash leaves and junk and frogs and everything else out of here. They'll hang out, and then they get in this pool when it's at night. If you come out here at night and you decide to go swimming at night, you'll see frogs swimming around with you. Walking around, I had a little girl at one of the 15-year-old birthday parties. It's impossible to see. There's a hole right over there. She had went and picked up a stick from one of these trees and was getting down here like pole vaulting or something through there, and she shoved a hole into that. It took me 2 weeks to figure it out. By the time I got it figured out, it had washed a bunch of sand that's at the bottom of that away, so there's a little canal underneath her. So it's kind of interesting, but I got it fixed. It patched it. It took me 2 patches and the stick was bigger than your thumb. So now I want to talk about the deck for a minute. I know I said in my last video I was not going to build a deck, but I did. I got a side job taking decks apart. Somebody was replacing their deck with a patio, a concrete patio. So as you can tell, a lot of this wood is repurposed. The entire frame of the deck is repurposed wood. The only thing that I purchased is these concrete blocks and then the steps, or not the steps, the entire flooring. That's all I purchased. Everything else was repurposed wood. I got this deck for lots less money. I pulled it home, I pulled it in, dropped all the wood off. I got it home in 4 pickup loads, dropped all the wood off, and I spent 3 days pulling nails out and sorting wood, sorting good wood, bad wood, and finally got it to where I got it organized enough that I started building, and there you go. Came up with a deck, turned out pretty nice. Can't think of anything else to talk about. Oh yeah, chlorine. Chlorine is super expensive. I'm finding that the price of chlorine is so much money. I haven't been chlorinated as much. I like to keep a 5-gallon bucket of chlorine, which is a couple of $100, or these packets. I buy it where I can, cheap, but sometimes I can't get it cheap enough. And lately I haven't been getting it cheap enough, and I haven't been chlorinating the pool. This pool's been probably 6 days since I chlorinated it. And so I've actually been looking into a salt generator, or a salt chlorine generator, whatever those things are called, to make my own chlorine. Been doing a lot of researching, talking to people who said they got them for $800. I can't find them for less than 13. I'll keep looking. Maybe next time I do an update on this, I might have a chlorine generator. Now, just spinning around, still staying on the subject, because this tree is part of the swimming pool. This is a nightmare tree. Only about 4 months out of the year do we actually like it. This time of the year, it's beautiful. It's 100 degrees outside this past week, and it's been over 100 degrees every day. And you can get underneath this tree, and it's real cool. If I take a fan, hook a fan up, and blow it across where this table's at, then you can even cool it down even more. This is just, it's beautiful, but as soon as the leaves start to fall on those trees, it's just no longer beautiful. Plus there's bugs in it. I have sprayed it recently. I got rid of the bugs. You got ticks that hang out in here, lots of ticks. I do not have any chiggers. I mean, if I had chiggers, I wouldn't be hanging out here. I am allergic to them. I go in the house. Can't handle chiggers. But ticks don't really bother me. They seem to bother everybody else. But I will spray. They die easy. I get up here with a sprayer, and I spray as high as I can. I spray everything I can. I spray, and I have to come in here and I have to clear off a space a lot of times for spider webs. Clean the spider webs off the broom. So anyway, this tree will be missed, but my thoughts are cut it way back. Either trim it up way high or cut it down. If I cut it down, I'll have a lot more room in the yard, and more grass will grow. As you can see, grass dies. Anything around the tree grass doesn't live. Another thing I want to say is this. I was cleaning this pool out one time, and I turned this over onto closed. I cleaned this filter and that filter out, cleaned it all up, and I have a pool set at a timer. This is the timer right here. I had it set at a timer, and I opened all these valves up, but I've forgotten I left this valve closed. The pool comes on at about 12:30. I was gone. And then I came back at about 2:30 or 3, and something didn't sound right with the pump. I heard the pump just whining. It sounded crazy. This hose, this is a PVC hose, but it's a flexible piece of PVC. It had exploded. It just came apart, and had to replace it. So far, no damage to the pump. I'm gonna end up pulling the pump apart this winter. I read some information on it. I'm gonna replace all the bearings and clean that rusted shaft off. So, other than that, everything's great. I can't complain. I think this pool, all the stuff I did turned out good. I don't have any problems with it. And I guess that's about it.